Hi everyone, my name is Kim Nolasco and today we're going to be looking at solving equations. So the first thing we need to know is what is an equation. So an equation is basically a math sentence which shows that two things are equal. So we could have something like 7 plus 2, and yes, we know that that is equal to 9, but if we want to make it a little bit more complex, we can say 7 plus 2 is equal to, and we give something else that equals 9. So 10 minus 1, for example, that gives us 9. So this is an equation. Another equation could be something like 4x minus 7 is equal to 5. So what this is saying is we have a number, x, that we don't know. And when we multiply it by 4, then take away 7, our answer is going to be 5. So here we've got two things that are the same as each other. Okay, so it's a different way of writing the same thing. And we tend to see this form in algebra where they represent a number that we don't know, so an unknown number, by a letter. And that could be any letter, X, Y, we could have had Z. And when you come on to doing more complicated things with formulae, they would use other letters. So for example, the area of a rectangle would be length times width. And this length and width is dependent either on the question or on what is presented in front of you. Okay, so they can be any number, but no matter what you do, if you're given a rectangle, every time you multiply the length by the width, you're always going to get the area. So this is what an equation is. It tells us what is happening and it shows us how two sides are the same as each other. So let's have a look at some examples now on how to solve equations. So here we have some examples of equations. We're going to look at solving these, and you can see as you go through each one, the steps get harder and harder. Okay, so it gets a little bit more complicated every time. So the first one that we're going to try and solve is this one here, and that's your sort of standard equation. Then we're going to have a look at when there is a negative value for x, or a negative coefficient for x. So that's this one here, the minus 2x. What do we do when that happens? And then we've got this one here, which has division in it. Okay, so we have a value x, it's divided by 3, and then we add 4 to give us negative 2. So we're going to have a look at each of these cases and look at how to solve them. So for the first one, we've got 3x plus 4 equals 15. So when we look at what this is actually saying, it's saying we're starting with x. So this is our function machine, and you might have seen something like this before. So we have x. What is the first thing that we're doing to it? We're timesing it by 3. So x times 3. The next thing we do is add 4 to it, and it gives us the answer of 15. Now to find out what x is, we need to undo that process. So we are going to be going backwards and undoing everything that has been done above. Okay, so we start off with 15. The first thing is minus 4. So here we've got plus. The opposite of adding is subtracting. So we take away 4. Then in the next step, we were timesing by 3 above, so we need to divide by 3. The opposite of timesing is dividing. And as we follow this through, we'll get the answer. So 15 take away 4, that gives us 11. And then 11 divided by 3 gives us 11 over 3, and you could change that into a mixed number. So this is a good example to show you that if you get a fraction as your answer, you can leave it in its simplified fraction. Okay, you don't need to change it into decimals. You can leave it as 11 over 3, but make sure that the fraction is simplified. I'm going to show you how to do this without using the function machine. We're 15, so we take away 4 first. I'm just going to write it here, and then we divide by 3. Okay, so let's have a look at how we're going to do that with algebra. So we have got 3x plus 4 equals 15. The first thing that I need to do is take away the 4. So I'm going to take away 4 from both sides, and usually we write it on the side here. Minus 4 from both sides so we don't forget it. Okay, so now we're going to do this side, take away 4. So 3x remains the same. Here I've got plus 4, and I need to take away 4. That gives me 0. Equals 15, take away 4 is 11. Okay, so now the next step is to divide it by 3. So here we've got 3x. That's 3 times x. The opposite of timesing is dividing. So divide by 3 on both sides, and we will be left with x equals 11 over 3. So let's try the next one. In this question, it says 15 minus 2x equals 7. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this 15. Okay, we want to have the x on one side and all the numbers on the other. If I'm going to get rid of this 15 here, it's positive 15. We need to take away 15 from both sides. So on the left-hand side, we are left with minus 2x. And on the right-hand side, 7 take away 15 minus 8. Now I need to get rid of this negative 2. Okay, so we've got negative 2 times x. So the opposite of timesing is dividing. So I'm going to divide by negative 2. When we're dividing by negative 2, minus 2 divided by minus 2, so negative over 2 over negative 2 is equal to 1. So on this side, we have x, 1x, equals minus 8 divided by minus 2. If the signs are the same, so if we get two negatives, that changes to a positive. If we have two positive numbers, our answer is positive. If the signs are different, then our answer will be negative. Let's simplify this one down a bit. So we have got two negative numbers, which means that our answer is positive, and then it's just 8 divided by 2, which is 4. So our answer is 4. In this question here, we have got a division. So I've got x divided by 3 plus 4 equals negative 2. And you're going to do the same process as we did in the last questions. The first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that plus 4. So I want to have as few numbers as possible on the side with the x. If I'm getting rid of the positive 4, I need to take it away from both sides. So I'm going to have x over 3 equals, then I've got minus 2 take away 4. So I've got x over 3 equals negative 6. So the next step is to multiply by 3, because here we're dividing by 3. Okay, so opposite of that is timesing by 3 on both sides. And when you multiply it by 3, we have x, because 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we get 1x equals, and we've got minus 6 or negative 6 times by 3. And if you remember to the previous example, when we have a positive, our answer is going to be negative. So we know that our answer is going to be a negative number, and then we just do 6 times 3, which is 18. So I know that x is going to be equal to negative 18. Okay guys, thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, then don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want more information, or you want more resources, more questions, anything to do with maths, then head to my website. It's kimnolasco.com, and you'll find a lot more resources available to you there.